Imagine being so mentally untouchable that no insult, no setback, no chaos could shake your peace, where people try to provoke you and fail, where your silence speaks louder than their noise, where your calm is your greatest form of power. This isn't a fantasy, it's a skill, a discipline, a Buddhist way of living. Today you're going to discover a mindset that frees you from overreacting, overthinking, and over-explaining. You'll learn how to protect your energy, detach from chaos, and respond to life with clarity and control. The world may never stop testing you, but you'll stop being affected by it. 1. Not everything deserves your energy. In life, not every battle is worth fighting. Not every comment deserves a response, and not every person is meant to be understood, defended against, or explained to. Buddhism teaches us a profound truth. Your mental, emotional, and spiritual energy is sacred. It's your life force, and wasting it on things that don't matter only pulls you further from your path. Think of your energy like water in a vessel. If you keep pouring it into meaningless arguments, toxic people, or worries about things outside your control, soon there will be nothing left for the things that truly matter: your growth, your peace, your purpose. Gossip, it's noise, grudges. They poison your heart. Constantly checking who said what about you. That's an emotional trap. These things weigh you down like invisible rocks in your backpack, making every step in your journey heavier than it needs to be. Before you give your attention or reaction to something, pause and ask, is this worth my peace? Will this help me grow, or will it drain me? Is this aligned with who I want to become? When you start asking these questions, you begin to choose your battles with clarity and intention. You no longer get pulled into every drama or every distraction. Instead, you rise above them. Buddhism isn't about being cold or detached from life. It's about being wise with your energy. It's knowing when to engage and when to walk away without guilt. When you learn to protect your peace like a treasure, you'll notice something powerful. The less you react to nonsense, the more powerful you become. Choose calm over chaos. Choose peace over proving your point. Choose progress over pettiness, because not everything deserves your energy. And when you finally accept that, you'll step into a whole new level of freedom. 2. The power of internal validation. One of the greatest sources of anxiety in our lives is the constant craving for approval from others. We want to be liked. We want to be praised. We want to be seen as successful, intelligent, kind, attractive. But in Buddhism, we are reminded of a liberating truth. Real peace comes not from how the world sees you, but from how you see yourself. When your sense of worth is tied to external opinions, you become like a leaf in the wind, blown in every direction depending on what people say or think about you. One compliment lifts you up, one criticism tears you down. You are no longer living for yourself. You're performing for an audience that's constantly changing. But internal validation is different. It's quiet. It doesn't shout or demand recognition. It comes from knowing who you are, what you value, and what path you're walking. It's the ability to say, I am proud of how I handled that. Or, I showed up with honesty and kindness, and that's enough. The Buddha never sought applause. He lived in truth, and that truth was its own reward. Similarly, when you align your actions with your core values, compassion, integrity, mindfulness, you no longer need others to tell you that you're doing well. You know it. So how do you build internal validation? You reflect, you meditate, you journal. At the end of the day, you don't ask, did they like me? Instead, you ask, did I act with wisdom? Did I stay true to myself? Did I grow even a little? The more you practice this, the less you'll chase external rewards. The likes, the compliments, the praise, they'll feel nice, but they won't define you. And the criticism, it won't destroy you, because your foundation is rooted in self-knowledge. When you start validating yourself from within, something amazing happens. You stop needing the world's permission to feel good about who you are. You stop performing and start living. That's real freedom, and that's where unshakable peace begins. 3. Respond. Never react. Life is full of unexpected moments. An insult you didn't see coming, a comment that rubs you the wrong way, a situation that instantly triggers frustration, anger, or fear. Most people react automatically. Someone says something rude and they snap back. A problem arises and they panic. But in Buddhism, there is a higher way. Don't react, respond. What's the difference? A reaction is immediate. It comes from emotion, not wisdom. It's often defensive, impulsive, and based on fear or ego. A response, on the other hand, is conscious. It's thoughtful. It creates space between what happened and how you choose to deal with it. Buddha taught that between stimulus and response, there is a sacred pause, a gap where you can choose how to act. And in that pause lies your power. Most suffering in life comes from losing that pause and letting your emotions drive the wheel. Let's say someone insults you. A reaction would be to yell back, defend yourself, or take it personally. But a response would be to breathe, observe the feeling rise within you, and ask, is this really about me, or is this person just suffering too? Will replying with anger serve me, or will silence speak louder? That moment of reflection changes everything. It doesn't mean you suppress your feelings. It means you observe them without becoming them. You don't let your emotions hijack your mind. Training yourself to respond rather than react takes practice. It begins with mindfulness. Every time you feel triggered, just take one breath. One conscious breath creates enough space to anchor your awareness. That pause is where you remember your values, your peace, your purpose. From there, you can respond in a way that protects your inner calm and honors your higher self. The truth is, most situations don't need your reaction. They need your stillness. Your ability to stay calm when others lose their control is a form of wisdom. And that wisdom can de-escalate tension, preserve your energy, and maintain your dignity. When you master this principle, you'll stop being a puppet pulled by emotions. You'll become the one who leads the moment, not the one dragged by it. So the next time life throws a trigger your way, don't just react. Pause, breathe, respond with clarity, not chaos. And in that space, you'll find peace the world can't take away. 4th, let go of the need to be understood. One of the deepest sources of suffering for many people is the desire to be fully understood by others. You want people to know your heart. You want them to see your intentions, your pain, your reasons. But in Buddhism, we learn that clinging to this need for validation and understanding can trap you in unnecessary frustration and emotional turmoil. Here's the truth. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone is meant to. People see the world through their own filters, through their wounds, their beliefs, their assumptions. Even when you speak your truth with clarity and sincerity, someone else might still twist it, reject it, or ignore it entirely. And when you attach your peace to whether or not someone understands you, you give them power over your emotional state. You become a prisoner of their perception. You try harder to explain, to prove, to justify. You replay conversations in your mind, wondering what you could have said differently. But all of that is a distraction from your true path. Buddhism teaches us to release attachments, and one of the most powerful attachments to let go of is the attachment to being seen accurately by others. Letting go doesn't mean you stop communicating or caring. It means you stop suffering when others don't get it. You understand that your peace doesn't depend on their approval. You stop needing to prove yourself. You stop explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Here's a simple yet freeing truth. You know your heart. You know your intentions. You know your path. That's enough. When you let go of the need to be understood, you step into a beautiful kind of freedom. You stop chasing external clarity and start cultivating internal clarity. You begin living more authentically without needing to edit yourself for others' comfort. Practice this. When someone misunderstands you, don't rush to fix it. Ask yourself, do I really need to be understood by this person to live in peace? Most of the time the answer will be no. Smile, breathe, wish them well and keep moving. This detachment is not coldness, it's wisdom. It's knowing that the right people, the ones who truly see you, won't need endless explanations. And the ones who refuse to see you clearly, no explanation will ever be enough. So free yourself, live in your truth. Let your actions speak louder than your words. And remember, peace doesn't come from being understood. It comes from understanding yourself. 5. Master the art of emotional detachment. Emotions are natural. You're human. You will feel hurt, angry, disappointed, frustrated, even heartbroken at times. Buddhism doesn't ask you to deny or suppress these feelings. Instead, it offers you a deeper path to feel fully without becoming consumed. This is the art of emotional detachment, a form of inner mastery that allows you to experience life with openness while keeping your inner peace intact. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean apathy or indifference. It means you learn to observe your emotions rather than being controlled by them. Like watching a river flow, you see the emotion, you recognize it, but you do not jump in and get swept away. This is the essence of Buddhist mindfulness, being present with your emotions without identifying with them. For example, when someone says something hurtful, your first instinct may be to feel anger or pain. But if you've trained your mind, you'll notice that emotion arises like a wave, and instead of immediately reacting or internalizing it, you create space. You might say to yourself, "This is anger. I see it. I feel it. But I am not it." That space between feeling and reaction, that's where your power is born. This practice is especially helpful in relationships. When people disappoint you, misunderstand you, or even betray you, emotional detachment gives you the clarity to respond with wisdom rather than hurt. It allows you to care deeply without clinging, to love but not lose yourself, to let go but not collapse. In Buddhism, attachment is considered a root cause of suffering. When you cling to emotions, holding on to joy, resisting sadness, obsessing over someone's words, you create mental tension. But when you observe emotions like clouds passing through the sky, you learn that they are impermanent. They come and go. No emotion, no matter how intense, is final. Training emotional detachment takes daily practice. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools. Sit quietly. Focus on your breath. When a feeling arises, don't fight it. Just label it. This is sadness. This is anxiety. This is craving. You'll notice that naming the emotion helps to neutralize its grip. Over time, you'll develop an inner stillness that remains untouched, even in the stormiest emotional weather. Detachment also means not making your identity dependent on how you feel. You are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. That simple realization can transform how you move through life. Emotional detachment isn't about being distant. It's about being deeply connected to yourself first. When you know how to center your own energy, you stop expecting others to do it for you. You stop needing constant reassurance because you've built a sanctuary within. So the next time your emotions feel overwhelming, take a breath. Remind yourself, this is a moment. It will pass. I don't need to hold on. I can feel and still let go. When you master the art of emotional detachment, you become calm without being cold, strong without being rigid, and compassionate without being consumed. That's true freedom. That's unshakable peace. 6. Your peace is your responsibility. One of the most life-changing lessons in Buddhism and in personal growth as a whole is this: your peace is not anyone else's job, it is yours. This may seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful because for most of our lives, we've been conditioned to believe the opposite. We think we'll feel at peace when other people treat us right, when situations go our way, when the world aligns with our expectations. But this belief puts your inner world into the hands of forces you can't control. Buddhism turns this belief inside out. It teaches you that the path to freedom begins when you stop outsourcing your peace and take full ownership of your mental state. Peace is not something to wait for. It's something you create, moment by moment, thought by thought, breath by breath. Think about it. If your peace depends on someone else never upsetting you, you've already given them the power to control your mood. If your calm depends on everything going exactly as planned, you'll be disturbed by even the smallest inconvenience. But if you begin to see peace as your inner discipline, something you build and protect like a sacred garden, then no one and nothing can steal it from you. So how do you start taking responsibility for your peace? First, by understanding that peace is a daily practice, not a one-time achievement. It's not something you get once and keep forever. It's something you return to over and over, especially when life feels chaotic. You choose it like a warrior chooses stillness before battle. Begin each day with intention. Even 5 minutes of silent meditation can set the tone for how you respond to life. During that silence, tell yourself, I will not hand over my peace today. I will not give the keys of my mind to anyone else. This quiet commitment becomes your anchor. Second, protect your mental environment. Just like you wouldn't let someone throw trash into your home, don't let toxic conversations, unnecessary drama, or negative news pollute your inner space. Learn to say no without guilt. Learn to step back when something disturbs your equilibrium. This isn't avoidance, it's wisdom. It's you saying, my peace matters more than this momentary distraction. Third, take full accountability for your emotional reactions. When you feel irritated, hurt, or angry, don't look for someone to blame. Instead ask, what is this reaction trying to teach me? Where am I still holding on to pain or expectation? This is radical ownership. It's not easy, but it's where true strength lies, because once you stop blaming others for your emotional state, you reclaim the power to shift it. Remember, even the Buddha was surrounded by chaos, insults, and betrayal, but he remained centered, not because the world around him was peaceful, but because he had trained his mind to be peaceful within. This doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent. It means you become intentional. You act from a place of calm clarity instead of emotional chaos. You speak from love, not from ego. You protect your energy not to isolate yourself, but to stay aligned with your purpose. When you truly accept that your peace is your responsibility, you stop waiting for others to apologize, to change, or to understand you. You stop needing the world to bend for your comfort. Instead, you rise above circumstances by mastering your inner world. You become the calm in the storm, the one who brings light even in darkness. And the best part? Peace is contagious. When you embody it, others feel it. Your energy becomes a sanctuary, not just for you, but for everyone who enters your presence. But it all starts with a decision. I choose peace, and I take full responsibility for keeping it. That's not just maturity, that's mastery. And in that mastery, you'll discover that the most powerful kind of peace is the kind no one can take away. 7. Remind yourself of the bigger picture. It's easy to get lost in the moment, annoyed by a comment, hurt by someone's misunderstanding, frustrated by a delay, or weighed down by the small daily troubles of life. But Buddhism shows us a powerful practice to step back and remind ourselves of the bigger picture. What upsets us today often won't matter in a week, a year, or even a lifetime. Peace is found in the bigger view. It's where you realize that most of what disturbs you is temporary and often unimportant in the wider flow of your life. When you learn to shift your focus from small details to the larger truth, from the surface to the soul, you stop giving power to the trivial and start living with deeper calm and clarity. Picture yourself looking at a single thread in a huge tapestry. If you only see that one thread, even a tiny flaw can appear enormous. But when you step back and see the full design, you realize that one small flaw doesn't take away the beauty of the whole. Life works in the same way. When someone says something that offends you, ask yourself, will this really matter 5 years from now? Is it worth disturbing my peace? Most times the answer will humble you. The feeling will fade. The burden will lighten. In Buddhism, death and impermanence are often used as reminders to bring our focus back. This isn't to frighten you. It's to remind you of what truly matters. The Buddha once said, "Among all footprints, the elephant's is the greatest, and among all meditations, reflection on death is the greatest." Why? Because when you truly see that life is short and uncertain, you stop wasting energy on what doesn't support your growth, your peace, or your purpose. Instead, you begin asking deeper questions. What am I here to do? How can I show more compassion in this moment? Am I living in line with my higher self, or just reacting from my lower self? These questions lift you out of small thinking and bring you back to your true essence. The bigger picture also reminds you that everyone is carrying their own struggles. The person who snapped at you might be grieving. The one who ignored you may be lost in their own self-doubt. Everyone acts from the level of awareness they have, just like you do. When you remember this, you shift from judgment to compassion, from irritation to understanding. Another simple way to return to the bigger picture is through daily reflection or journaling. Each evening, ask yourself, what truly mattered today? What did I give too much emotional weight to? What will I choose to carry into tomorrow? And what will I let go of? This practice trains your mind to filter out the noise and focus on what matters. It makes you more mindful, more steady, and less reactive. When you remind yourself of the bigger picture, you also become more present. That may sound like a contradiction, but it isn't. You stop worrying about what's next or what already went wrong, and instead live this moment with clarity and purpose, knowing it has its place in the larger journey of your life. The ultimate bigger picture in Buddhism is awakening, freedom from suffering through wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. That's the real goal, not winning arguments, not proving yourself right, not getting even, but becoming so free within that nothing outside can disturb your peace. So when you feel upset, frustrated, or out of balance, pause, take a breath, and remind yourself, this is just one page in my story, not the entire book. Recenter, reconnect with your path, and move forward with the peace that comes only from seeing beyond the moment. Because when you live with the bigger picture in mind, you stop stressing over the small things and start becoming someone who views life through the eyes of wisdom, not through hurt. That's when you're truly unbothered. That's when you rise. In a world filled with noise, chaos, and constant emotional triggers, staying unbothered is not a passive act. It's a conscious practice, and Buddhism shows us a way not to escape life, but to rise above its storms with grace and clarity. You've now discovered 7 powerful principles to guard your energy like a sacred flame, to find validation within, to respond instead of react, to let go of the need for others to fully understand you, to practice emotional detachment, to take complete responsibility for your peace, and to always keep the bigger picture in mind. These are not just ideas, they are daily practices, small shifts in your mind, your breath, and your focus. At first, they may feel unfamiliar, but with time, they become a natural part of who you are. And the more you walk this path, the more your peace becomes unshakable, not because the world has changed, but because you have. So take these teachings and apply them slowly, with patience. Let them sink in until they become part of your inner language. And remember, the most powerful person in any room is not the loudest or the strongest, but the one who stays calm while everything else is in chaos. May you walk with wisdom, live in peace, and let nothing disturb your inner stillness.